Good morning. It's just before 7. I'm out with the dog. We are headed home today, Pittsburgh. A whirlwind trip. Wish we had more time to spend. I'd love to go check out the Heinz Museum and the rest of Pittsburgh. But we've got some other things we're gonna hit today on the way home. So it should be a pretty fun day. What are you doing, dog? Oh, I just snorted a bug. That's great. We're heading through the city again. All these great trees and stuff. And then we go through a tunnel. And it completely changes. Here we go. Getting ready to go through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, which is shocking. Shocking.
Actually, I don't think we're going through the tunnel. I think we're taking an exit before the tunnel.
What? No way.
I think so.
What? We're gonna find out.
Let's find out.
Oh, you might be right. I think we take that 1951 there. What? Glad we did it yesterday, though. I don't think we are.
It might be a Chattanooga.
Yeah, a little bit. That's one heck of a truck ramp. Oh my gosh, you better hope that thing stops you.
Oh, we could have done your no tunnel. We could do your bye tunnel.
Yeah, bye tunnel. There's the tunnel. Bye tunnel. Boo. Oh,
Why
well.
did you skip the tunnel? We need to turn the lights off in the
I guess we're going this way.
We need to turn the lights off in the tunnel.
Here we go across the big blue bridge. Same blue bridge we went across yesterday? I don't think so. Can't really see anything. There's too many bars. There's a steamboat or something. Some kind of boat down there.
Yeah, it's over now.
Is it over now, Emmett? Is it over now?
I don't think this is the same one.
No, it's not. Wow, that's an incredible exit. We saw this place on the side of the road. It's Gene and Boots. Old-fashioned ice cream and candies. It looks amazing. We're gonna go in, check out some candy. Look at this. It's got like this gingerbread house on the side of it. It's amazing. Look at that. Look at that. That is awesome. And look, over here, there's a giant lollipop. Look at that. This is incredible. Look at that necktie. The nurse's kit. Or to shop. It's so incredible. Look at them physical instruments. Motorcycle. Oh, chocolate handcuffs. This is incredible. It's the most incredible shop I've ever been in. How great this place is. Oh my goodness. Just look at all this chocolate. Chocolate, 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 chocolate. It's all chocolate. All of it. Look at this. Oh my goodness. What a great place. Chocolate dinosaurs. chocolate triceratops, stegosaurus, and a raptor, and a pig. Oh my gosh. Finn is holding the most gigantic lollipop that has ever been.
It's not a lollipop, it's a weapon.
It's not a weapon, it's a lollipop.
You pick it out of the ground and then you whack.
That's right, Jean and Boots, old-fashioned ice cream and candies. Right here on the side of 51. We saw this spot yesterday. We were on our way up to Monroeville. We said, oh, we should stop there. It was on the wrong side of the street. So, coming back today, we decided we're gonna stop. You know how I love the rock-faced concrete block? Well, this is a brick machine that could do pretty much the same thing, except in bricks instead of concrete blocks. It's pretty cool. You can really see it. It's kind of glary. That's pretty cool. This guy, Frank Duragon? I'm not really sure how to say his name, but there it is. Constructed these chimneys down this way using that machine. The perfect brick machine. There's the brick chimneys. Oh, that's a stone chimney. Well, I guess it's brick underneath the stone, right? And then the other one's a stone chimney. So it used to be a house and an inn, even a little zoo that they kept here. And now there's a horse. Those great bricks. The inn caught fire, burned down, and that's all that's left is these chimneys. I don't know what the significance of the horses are, though. But there's horses. I guess you could say, what the hay? See what's in here. Oh, another horse and a wagon. Pretty cool. Oh, the Summit Inn. Looks pretty cool. Established in 1907.
That does not look like it.
So we decided that since we're in the area, we'd stop at Jumonville, Glen. And before Virginia or America 250 can happen, this has to happen. America 250 doesn't happen. Well, I mean, that's kind of strong, isn't it? But let me tell you, like Horace Walpole once said, the volley fired by a young Virginian in the backwoods of America lit the world on fire. And the events that transpired here at Jumonville are what led to the American Revolution. And we'll talk more about it when we get there, when we get actually down to the Glen, because it's a little bit of a hike, a little bit, just a short one. So essentially, on the morning of May 28th, 1754, Washington, George Washington, the young officer, Lieutenant Colonel George Washington, and about 40 Virginia militia and some local Iroquois creeped up on top of these rocks and saw the French down here. They were unknown what the French were. Were they diplomats? Or were they spies? I had no idea. In any case, they were spying on the French, who were just down there.
On that rock?
Mm-hmm. On those rocks.
Oh.
So,
No,
just so
I
you know,
know.
we've left the paved route and started down the hill on this rocky route. Oh,
Yeah, Emmett made the right choice then.
you think Emmett made the right choice?
Yeah. Because he would not want to walk down this. And there's moss, which is slippery.
Oh yeah, it's not very accessible.
Yep. So it's not how to do it.
We went from accessible to not very accessible in a very short distance. So there were 32 French troops here, getting ready to eat breakfast. Washington and his men are up there. Down this way, Washington's Iroquois scouts. One of them, known as Tanashiraison, Channer, something. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Also known as Half King, was waiting. And the French saw Washington and his troops and began to run into them. A volley was fired, and 10 Frenchmen lay dead. One escaped, the rest were captured, and the one that escaped, he ran all the way to Fort Duquesne, which is Pittsburgh, to tell the rest of the French what had happened.
I would recommend using a grappling hook.
So which way is the trail, do you think? This way or that way? Or should we just turn around and go back the other way?
That way, I think that you're supposed to go down like that way.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not so accessible. Holy macaroni, where is the trail now? I think we've completely lost the trail.
I think I can find it. Hold on. So many loose rocks. Is this brick? That looks like brick.
It's not brick.
Oh, God.
And I think we've lost the trail. So going back to what I said about Horace Walpole saying, this is the volley fired by the young Virginian in the backwoods of America set the world on fire. So Jumonville gets killed here. I told you one man escaped. He ran all the way to Pittsburgh, Fort Duquesne. He tells the French there what happened, and Jumonville's brother vows revenge. So he takes 600 men and marches down here and finds Washington at Fort Necessity, which is about 8 miles from here, which I think we're going to go to next.
I giant spider.
What?
Look, giant spider. Look,
It's like Granddaddy Longlegs.
That's a red daddy long legs.
Um,
It's a red one.
They march down here to Fort Necessity and find Washington and his men surround the place. And eventually the British surrender. It's that valley and the battle at Fort Necessity, which started off the French and Indian, or the 7 Years' War. The debts incurred by the British as a result of the French and Indian 7 Years' War lead to the American Revolution. And the American Revolution leads to the French Revolution, which leads to Napoleon. So you can see, and I am so very confused. There are trails everywhere. That says that way. That says that way. Which way do we go?
I go wrong.
This arrow says this way.
That arrow says that way. That
And then-
arrow says that way.
Let's go this way, I think. And if we can't figure it out, then we'll just turn around and go back. Well, I don't know. There's like a wooden path that way. There's like a boardwalk.
Which means boardwalks.
So in
mean
any case,
correct.
the volley fired by the young Virginian set in the backwoods of America set the world on fire. So before we can get to America 250, we have to make a stop here. Whew. So down there, when you're in the Glen, there's 2 different trails going the other way, and you'd think it's a loop trail. So we tried one, and we walked, and then it looked like the trail just kind of petered out. I think we were just kind of in the woods. So then we went back, we tried the other one, and that one led us far, far away. We went outside the bounds of the park, and it's steep. Holy moly, is it steep over there. So then we came back, and we're walking back the way we went down. Well, I'm walking back. Finn's done. It's a cool monument, little rocky thing here. Here's a Francis Parkman quote. It's kind of like the Horace Walpole. This obscure skirmish began the war that set the world on fire.
Yes.
Almost to the summit because there's that beautiful hotel.
You're just trying to turn ears.
Be totally fine now. It's just some kind of fluke or something.
Reminds me of the Dirty Dancing place.
Yeah. Summit Inn, Coral Caverns, Summit Inn Golf Course. Top of the mountain. So after the French are killed at Jumonville, Glen, and the one Frenchman retreats to Fort Duquesne, Washington and his men come back here to Fort Necessity, which is not that. That's the visitor center for the National Park Service. And eventually the French come. And on July 3rd, the French attack. It's about 600 Frenchmen to 400 militia, Virginia militia, and British soldiers. And Washington ends up surrendering. On July 4th, the French burn Fort Necessity. So Washington knew the French were going to retaliate. So he built this fort as a matter of necessity.
Mom, is that it? What?
They completed it in about 5 days. It's not very big at all.
I don't hear any guns. And where's the swords? We made it to fort.
We did make it.
But no.
If you can tell, this was where the tree line was. That's where the fort is. High ground there. High ground there. This is even higher ground than that. Not a great place for a fort. The French there. Jeez, I wouldn't want to be trapped up in here. No, thank you.
Does BO stand for bombs?
Huh?
Does BO stand for bombs?
Does Bo stand for bombs? No, that's... I killed Bo! Not very... I wouldn't think that... Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I would not think this is very safe or very...
This is an open area.
This would not be a fun place.
Pew,
I mean,
pew.
just think, the French are over there. They're coming this way. And that's high ground. They've got that high ground. They've got that high ground and the trees to hide in over there.
And you have no way to.
You have that small hill there.
And plus you have a very thin rate of. Look.
Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Look.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna fight and die here, at least it's beautiful. Yeah, I wonder if the John Deere was here when
Do not run around in the screen.
it's a beautiful spot.
You all got to go home and read about
There's some National Road stuff here too. This is great. It cost them $13,000 per mile. And Jefferson thought it might end up being a pork belly project. And there's another marker. Cool. Ooh, look at that. There it is, the National Road.
Do they go across for Virginia?
No. What state is that?
That's Richmond.
Indiana.
But that's Richmond.
Indiana.
Richmond.
Indiana.
Richmond.
Indiana.
Ah, boo. Ooh, Baltimore. Wait, isn't Baltimore from Harry Potter?
That's Voldemort.
Oh.
So above the fort is the Mount Washington Tavern. They have this memorial to pioneers and settlers here with this great Conestoga wagon.
Hello.
I love the colors. Blue and the red. Really nice. An older historic marker from 1926. Port in South City, located about 400 yards to the south in the Great Meadows, built and commanded 1754 by Lieutenant Colonel George Washington. At 22 years old, here after 9 hours with engagement of Coulon de Villiers, in command of 900 French regulars and their Indian allies, Washington and his 400 Royal Virginia and South Carolina troops capitulated, and early the next morning, July 4th, 1754, marched out with the honors of war. And then the French burned the fort to the ground. This is Mount Washington Tavern. It was built about 1830 for people traveling up and down the National Road. You get to come in, get a night's rest, get some food, change your horses. Ben, let's go!
We should ask our followers what I should do with Jim. This is all.
No, Washington Tavern and the National Road.
Boat.
Found this great place up here. I don't even know what it's called, Deep Creek or something? I don't even know. It's wonderful. I think we're going to come back. Rent a cabin or something? And a boat? What do you guys think?
What do you call a boat that tells dad jokes?
I don't know. What do you call a boat that tells dad jokes?
A pontoon. I got it from the sign right there.
That's a good one. I thought we were all excited about getting a boat, you guys. See, look, there's boat rentals. You can rent the boat. Finn can drive it.
Yeah, I can.
Fudge, popcorn, goodies. The Sacred Ground Mining Company. Copper Kettle, popcorn, something. Yes. I don't know what this place is. We should come back. Will of the Wisp. I think I said that yesterday when we drove through. Kind of like this. This little sign right here, it says, it's a mirror. And it says, is this the honest face or the face of a thief? It's your choice. Oops. Finn dropped his lunch and it spilled all over the back of the car, so we had to pull over so I could clean up. Goodness, look at this beautiful place. Holy moly. Beautiful. Whew. Man, Western Maryland is it. Stopped at an overlook on 48. I believe that's 48. Continuing on towards Virginia. Just over there. Dog is pulling me like you would not believe.
Yeah, somebody go
Pretty incredible.
Oh, Harper! Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Cypher.
There's a million bananas.
Do you want to stop at the steakhouse?
So let me just recap the story, National Road and Jumonville, Glen, and everything, because we got stuck in the woods and the story got twisted, everything. It's crazy. So first off, the National Road was there prior to it ever being called the National Road. The indigenous people of the area used that path, trail, road, whatever you want to say, for many, many years. Then Washington came along and found it, or just somebody discovered it. And then they decided they needed to improve it. So it was improved upon by Washington. This is probably about the time he's in Winchester. His headquarters is there. So they improve the national road. This leads him to discovering these Frenchmen at what would be later called Jumonville Glen. He's led by he has some Iroquois scouts with him, led by Tanachariason, I believe is his name. Anyway, they discover these Frenchmen. They fire a volley of shots at the Frenchmen. And it's just a mess. It's the Jumonville affair. Monsieur Jumonville gets killed. They capture these other Frenchmen. One of them escapes and runs all the way to Fort Duquesne, which is Pittsburgh. And he tells the French there what has happened. One of the Frenchmen he tells happens to be Jumonville's brother. Washington retreats and builds a fort, Fort Necessity, because he knows they're coming. The French do indeed show up. On July 3rd, there's a battle at Fort Necessity, named because they need a fort, and they need it quickly. And so Washington has this fort built. And after 9 hours of fighting between the Virginia militia, led by Washington, they surrender. The French then take Washington and his militia captive and burn the fort on the following day, July 4th. This is the opening salvo of the French and Indian War. As Walpole says, the volley fired by a young Virginian in the backwoods of America lit the world on fire. Per Walpole, French and Indian War leads the debts incurred during the French and Indian War by the British lead the British to raise taxes on the American colonists. The American colonists then rebel, which leads to the American Revolution. The American Revolution inspires the French to rebel against the king, Louis, the 16th? This is the French Revolution. French Revolution leads to the Terror, and it then leads to Napoleon. And Napoleon builds an empire. The volley fired by a young Virginian in the backwoods of America sets the world on fire. I mean, it's pretty simple. But yeah, so that is that whole story, right? So the National Road, oh, well, it's not, so there's a little bit of an epilogue, which we didn't really get into when we were up there. There was some big festival thing happening just down the road where this little epilogue of the story happens. So after Washington is captured, the British then send Edward Braddock, I believe is his name, Edward. Anyway, Braddock is sent to Pittsburgh. He marches down the National Road straight to Fort Duquesne. He improves upon what Washington was improving upon, makes it even wider, makes the National Road even wider. Marches to Fort Duquesne, loses, gets beat by the French at Fort Duquesne. He is mortally wounded. Braddock is mortally wounded. And on the way back, he dies. So they bury his body not far from Fort Necessity, right in the middle of the National Road. And to this day, his grave is there on the side of the National Road. you can stop and see it. We couldn't, because there was some crazy festival thing going on. There were people everywhere. And it just didn't make sense to make that left. We had to make a left turn into the parking lot and then try and get back across. Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. So we decided to skip it and come back another day. So then fast forward to 1806. Jefferson says we need a national road. And we're going to build it from Cumberland, Maryland to the Ohio Territory as far as we can. This is probably a good decision and a bad decision. He can already see that it's going to become like, we're just going to dump money into this thing and it'll never be finished. And it'll just keep sucking money out of our budget year in and year out. But he goes through with it anyway because he realizes there's a need, right? So it becomes our first federally financed highway in America. It runs from Cumberland, Maryland into Ohio, and then eventually to what is then the state capital of Illinois, Vandalia. I believe that's right. So that's our highway. That's the grandmother road. And it's all right there. It's all right there. All of that history right there. It's fantastic. It's a great place. If you're ever in that neck of the woods or ever feel like taking a trip that way, check all that stuff out because it's great. Before we get to, I mean, and a lot of the history is prior to the Declaration of Independence, right? But it sets the stage. It's great. It's great history. I like reading history, but it means a lot more when I can actually see it. And we can see these places. The smallness is what really gets me. If you've ever been to the Texas Book Depository in Dallas, that's the thing that really stuck out to me the most, is how small that whole area is. In the movies and all the footage, it looks like this big place. And it's really not. It's really just a tiny, compact little area. And that's the way Jumonville, Glen is, and that's the way Fort Necessity is. It's so much smaller. In your head, when you read about it, it kind of expands and makes it seem like this big area, but it's so small, compact. Really get a better idea of how it was. Anyway, I've talked for 9 minutes. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. If you want, can you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Drop a comment down below. Thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. See ya.